The one-off test between Zimbabwe and Ireland was a belter of a test match, and if you missed it, I'm here to bring you up to speed because I know most people didn't even know it was being played. So let's get into it. Ireland batted first and made a total of 260 all out in their first innings, despite being at one time 31 for 5. Leading the way for Ireland, you had Andy McBride, who made 90 not out, and Mark Adair with 78, who put together a brilliant partnership to ensure that the Irish didn't get bowled out for a really bad and what can I say this word? It was a really bad score. Bowling for Zimbabwe, you had Blessing Muzarabani with 7 for 58 and Richard Ngarava with 2 for 65 leading the way. Zimbabwe, in their turn at the crease, ended up making 267 all out in their first innings, with debutant Nick Welch making 90 and Blessing Muzarabani making 47. Blessing Muzarabani doing it with both ball and bat. We're facing a deficit of 7. Sorry, let me get you the bowling figures here. Leading the charge for Ireland, you had Barry McCarthy with 4 for 75, Andy McBride with 3 for 59, and Mark Adair with 2 for 56. Facing that deficit of only 7 runs, the Irish, they took a different approach to batting this second innings, and they did a heck of a job. They ended up making 298 all out. Leading the way was Captain Andy Balbirnie with 66, and he had support from Lorcan Tucker with 58, as the Irish set Zimbabwe 292 to win this test match. Bowling for Zimbabwe, you had Richard Ngarava with 4 for 55, Trevor Jawandu with 2 for 28, and Wesley Madheveri with 2 for 48. Zimbabwe ended up falling short by 63 runs. They were bowled out for 228. It just really didn't get going from the get-go in the second innings for Zimbabwe. Wesley Madheveri with 84 led the charge for Zimbabwe, and he had some support from Brian Bennett with 45 and Captain Jonathan Campbell with 33, as Matthew Humphreys with 6 for 57 led the bowling charge for the Irish, and he had support from Barry McCarthy with 2 for 22 as the Irish pulled off a come-from-behind victory. I honestly thought this test match wasn't going to last this long, but it lasted a lot longer than I thought. And I gotta say, I love the Irish. That fighting spirit, man. I'm pretty sure that's somewhat about Irish, but they showed that fighting spirit, and I feel like Zimbabwe just dropped the ball. They had a debutant captain, Jonathan Campbell, which I saw South Africa do this in their series, and it backfired. And if you'd watched the beginning of this test match, you would have been like, nah, this actually might work. But it didn't in the end. But maybe lack of experience being a captain, leading in a test match could have accounted for this. I don't know. That'd be my best guess. Blessing Muzarabani, though, that 7 wickets, man, that was just phenomenal. But Humphreys came back and 6 wickets in the second innings to put the Irish on top. What went wrong for Zimbabwe? They should have tried to finish the Irish off. 31 for 5 in the first innings to 260 all out. That's not gonna work. And then only leading by 7, and then letting Ireland make a total of 298 in the second innings, putting yourself even out and above what you made in your first innings. Then the batting didn't fire as the way you wanted to. I think these one-off tests, I like it, but then I don't like it because I don't feel like it gives the sides like enough going forward. Like it needs to be at least 2 tests going forward. But I gotta say, Ireland, hats off for really coming from behind to win this test match despite what happened in your first innings. That was just phenomenal, man. I gotta say, that was just phenomenal. Look, if you haven't heard it before about this test match, you're hearing it first here on We Talk Cricket. If you have any comments, leave it below because you know we always answer your comments. And until next time, my peeps, later.